Hey guys, so I guess we're in for a two-parter today. So one in the morning and one later after tonight's episode. My baby's called, so duty's called. My boys needed me last night, so I couldn't get to putting up my video, but like I said, here I am today, okay? I'm showing up. I'm present. I'm showing up in the moment. So if you have not, go ahead and click that button and subscribe. Welcome back if you are already subscribed, and don't forget to like and meet me in the comments, y'all, okay? But let's get started and break down last night's episode. So we had Maddie and Bria up against Timmy and Andy on going home. The boys and girls had to choose. The guys chose Andy and the girls chose Bria. With Andy, I was not surprised at all because Timmy has an unresolved situation that I think is a pretty big deal. Like, it's a pretty intense situation. Even in the best, and I guess we've seen the worst days. But I feel like the guys felt like he deserved a chance to see where that goes, to settle it, and Andy just hadn't had that strong of a connection, even though it seemed as though maybe him and Maddie maybe were starting to go somewhere. But given the choice, they chose to save Timmy. So then we have the girls, the ladies, and the ladies chose Bria. Now, on some level, I was surprised because both ladies had been there, and I don't think either of them had, I don't want to say, well, I have to maybe been given a fair shot. And in a sense, though, Maddie did have a little bit more time, but at the same time, Maddie's situations kind of were not chosen for her. She was kind of put in some situations, and while we can say, maybe her personality, she's got to show more, at the same time, some situations she was just kind of, like when Andy made that pivot and picked Sydney, that kind of just left her alone. That wasn't a choice of her own doing. Whereas Bria made that choice to pick Timmy. And when you solely pick one person, you just better pray that it works out. Because if it doesn't, we never know in that phone where we're going to get that text and say it's time to go or it's time for recoupling. And if you don't have anybody, then that makes it tough. It did seem as though, and what I would have liked to see maybe is a redemption to really maybe get a better sense of her personality, to get a sense of, hopefully just of who she is, to see something a little bit different. Jeff seemed like he was more than willing. She still seemed kind of caught up, maybe. And again, we don't see everything, so we can't fully say, but it didn't seem like she was just, kind of ready to let the Timmy thing go. Like, I think relationship-wise, obviously she was, because she had no choice, kind of given how it was. But, she was kind of sitting in her anger a little bit. And, and so I think ultimately that and the girls' loyalty is so hard to send OG girls homes a lot of the times, because that bond has been established since day one. And when you're talking about being in a situation where you're sequestered with one another for 24 hours, each day could seem like 6 months. So time's going by extremely fast. And also, we saw the situation that Bria put herself in kind of by not really establishing those bonds and alliances. I think ultimately that's what got her sent home. But like I said before, I do believe that this could be good for Chaz. Because I think it does give him the opportunity to be a little bit more free, to not worry about his baby sister. Well, I guess because she was the big sister, but not to worry about his sister, to not make the guys feel uncomfortable, that kind of thing. So hopefully this allows him to shine a little bit more. We can see a little bit more from him. So ultimately, Bria and Andy go home. Maddie, poor Maddie, like I did not expect that at all. I expected her maybe to be disappointed because, you do establish bonds, but again, there's so much we don't see on camera. So I don't know. And then we don't know, like I said, time goes by so quickly in there. So when they got back together and maybe were able to see some things differently. And also, it is hard for me to say, like, well, maybe Andy just, because you don't want to get sent home. Like, so you better establish a bond with somebody. But also, he did say he really liked Maddie, and on the outside, if she wants to connect, he seemed open. So, let's see if those were just words. We shall see after. But that leaves us, with the crew we have. And of course, they go back and everybody's trying to, you're trying to just kind of take it all in. Timmy and Zeta are trying to reestablish kind of what they got going, and, they're happy to be back together, be able to, they can't quite share a bed yet because we haven't had an official recoupling. So they go wherever they need to go to have their time. And, so we got that. But then we have the shocker of the Bombshells. But before we get that, Serenity, or right as they get that, Serenity really is trying to, kind of fill out Chaz, because I don't think she seems a little bit uneasy given her experience. And sometimes those first 2 days, if your experience is bad, it's kind of hard to shake off, or the trust if you feel unwanted. And, so that could be it, and I also don't know if, she's just playing the game because she got another choice in mind. I didn't see the Jeff thing last night because we didn't see as much as him in that. And I don't know if her shot is blown because we got the new girls coming in, Kat, Naja, and then we have Jared. So Kat picked for her dates. She wanted to go with Isaiah and Chaz. Naja picked Jeff, and she picked Isaiah as well. And then Jared picked Maddie, and he picked Deb. So last night we only saw the first dates. So Isaiah, oh my goodness, Sydney was over there giving him the death stare. And he was just, I'm not going to smile too much. Okay. And when Kat started laughing, I was like, oh my, Sydney looked like, it reminded me like a Fatal Attraction, Cruel Intentions. It was giving a lot of things. I was like, girl, Sydney. But she was not having it. I was all with Isaiah. Like, I told you, that passion, I don't know, like when it's passionate here, like with the anger, it's passionate with the love. It's just, both of them just ooze of passion. So, I was with them until the question was asked kind of, are you open to, which, of course, this is a game, so you may be open, but you also want to play the game, right? Like if America's starting to love you, you were one of the few established couples, like you were picked in the villa first for the hideaway. I don't know if it's quite the smart move to risk it all, especially now once you've been giving a little bit more information, because we've seen, he's gotten to see what Timmy's went through. He already had his own situation where Andy kind of put him in, but then we've seen what Jesse went through. We've seen kind of what Timmy went through. Is that what you want to go through with Sydney? You don't want those problems, but he wants all the smoke. So he looks like he's about to get all the smoke, okay? So if he wants it, then hey, I'm here for the TV drama. So then we have Maddie and Jared. Maddie and Jared, I don't know. It seemed like a fun little date. I hope, because I do like Maddie. She seems sweet. But my only concern is because when the preview that won the preview with Deb, it just seemed like but I know Deb's personality. She may have a bigger outright kind of, outgoing personality than Maddie. And I don't, I hate for you to be penalized for your personality, but also that may mean that maybe that person's not for you. But also, first of all, we have to even see where that goes, because I'm just talking off total speculation. Deb and Jesse, whatever they have, their personalities seem really together. So I don't really see that shifting, which would be great for Maddie, because that leaves an open guy and she can see where that can blossom into. So then that leaves us with Jeff and Naja. Now, Jeff's authenticity that he gives off every show is so much appreciated. It's like, what in the hip hop love island is going on? But it works. Like, I love it. I love that he's just himself. And actually, because I was thinking, because I just think Serenity is just cute with anybody. And I was thinking maybe that would kind of, because Jared just, his personality, and then I listened to some of Serenity's jokes, her kind of offbeat kind of stuff, it could work. But Naja being, and I could speak as a Georgia girl, as a Georgia peach, she's seen guys like Jeff. We got a lot of guys like Jeff. We got a lot of Jeffs around here. And you can either love or hate them. It looks like she might be open. It looked like she's homebred, cornbread, peach cobbler, everything. She eating on something. And she looked good. I'm not hating, okay, girl. So it looked like Jeff was looking. And so that, as we saw with Bria, because I always thought that Bria was more his type. I think he was open to Zeta, and I think, she just has one of those personalities that you just can really like and love. But I think on paper, as we know and see that all these guys seem to have types. On paper, I think he likes a thicker girl. And maybe Naja could be just the one for him. Because she seems just enough, just enough twang of Georgia. And just enough, I know how to be, to pull it together and rein it in. So we're going to see, I don't know. Because it's good to know that she probably has been around some Jeffs, so it's not like a shocker. And so I like that. I like their conversation was fun. Jeff is just Jeff, and he's authentically Jeff. And we have to see if Naja is okay with Jeff and all the authenticity that he brings. I like it. I do. I like it for him. And I like his excitement. I do. That's what Love Island's about. You're supposed to have excitement, have fun. And he was ready for the girls. And when they came, he was ready. Okay. So I'm here for it. And I could be biased also, because when she said Georgia, I was like, but I'm excited for them. And, and that's kind of where we left off. We're just kind of with those dates kind of finishing up. We'll see kind of where it goes. Sydney, like I said, Sydney was not at all looking pleased. And it looks like some kind of confrontation is going to happen. Now, we know editing can always kind of do something to lure us in. But it looks like it could be possibly. It looked like Serenity and Sydney. I really like both of you girls, but we'll see where that goes. We'll see because when you are revved up and you're emotional, and she looks like she's emotional about this Isaiah thing, emotions are running on high. We've all been there. Sometimes nobody say anything to me, and if one person says the wrong thing, then we go off. But what we have seen with these ladies is they seem to always, we haven't really seen too much big conflict. But I think the bond is there enough that they'll be able to rein whatever it is in, and we'll be good. Before I let you go, I must, I am someone who, I don't mind coming back and apologizing or, kind of correcting myself. And I wanted to correct myself with Tyler. And maybe, because so much is put out there, and just given the history of reality shows and things, we, especially as Black women, sometimes can wear that on our sleeve just because so often we're not picked. And so all it takes is just a little bit of things to get the flames going, and you're thinking, okay, well, I knew that's why he didn't, but, which I shared that some of his friends, allegedly, the streets were talking, and it was being said that he would never date a girl that looked like Serenity. After further investigation, that's why you have to investigate. I tell my kids all the time, but here I was not doing what mommy says. And, and that, first of all, I don't even know what Tyler is. Not that it matters, but he seemed very well aware and kind of in different cultures. And to be around, he had a good mix of friends, when you go look at his Instagram. But even further from that, I watched him on After the Island with Elizabeth and Alex. And what he said about Serenity, I thought was so beautiful. And I really was confused because I can't say I was the biggest Elizabeth fan. I do like Alex. She seems actually like her better off, which happens a lot because let me stay on topic, but nonetheless, because I just say some other people that when they come off the show, I really, really like. But Tyler, no matter how Elizabeth tried to ask the question, because she almost kept inferring, well, were you really attracted to Serenity? And she might have asked it 5 or 6 different ways and 6 different questions. And to the point where he was just not to sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but Serenity was that girl. I chose her for a reason. He literally must have said that 10 times. He said that her body, and not just she's a friend, she's the homie, she's her personality, because even though it's great to have a good personality, but he didn't try to personality her like she was the ugly girl. He constantly said, she's cute, she's body goals, she has a great personality. And he said even outside of a relationship, which he said that was always going to be his pick. Outside of a relationship, he said that was probably the closest person that he was to in the villa, and the person that made him the happiest and made that experience like the most magical for him, because she would keep him laughing so hard and smiling to the point his cheeks and his teeth were hurting. So I just wanted to share that, because I think that's really important, kind of to get a different perception and to really understand people, because so much, like, you know, we have to be responsible. I don't care if you have 50 views, 24,000, 30,000, a million, you know, when you're putting stuff out there about people, it's out there, it can last. So I want to make sure, you know, we're honest and give people a fair shot. And if we see something different and we need to come back and backtrack it, then we do that, because it's only fair to them. But that's all I got. I'm ready for the night. Hopefully we don't have any more. Even though, I mean, it's okay for my children to need me, but hopefully they won't need mommy again tonight, and I'll be able to get my video up. But I feel confident that daddy can hold the fort down tonight. But I will see you guys. I hope you guys, everybody has a great day. Be on the lookout for me tonight. Subscribe if you have not, if you didn't do it in the beginning. And I'll check you guys later. Meet me in the comments. Bye.